Hello again, it's Dr. Tassone here to talk to you about the courses that you are taking. At this point, I'm talking to both graduate and undergraduate students. Undergraduate students are those who are completing a bachelor's degree. Graduate students are those that are completing a master's degree or above. Bachelor students and master students are taking this course as a capstone or an inclusive course to put together all of the experiences that they've had in their curriculum. The purpose is to bring everything together before you complete your degree. An interesting thing that happens is a number of undergraduate students are duped into believing that they already know everything that there is to know. And then when they see terms that they should be familiar with from their training already, they think that they already are knowledgeable about what they're about to study. This is not exactly true. The opposite seems to be true for many graduate students. A lot of graduate students have a tendency to think that they've been hit with so much information. They tend to think that they're confused. They don't know what we're talking about at this point in time. So it's two different perspectives from two different levels of training. The important thing about a capstone course for our program is that it gives you the skills to actually implement in the field of management. Think about it. You go to a physician. Would you want a physician who has never practiced medicine to take care of you? Would you want him or her to operate on you? Or an attorney? Would you want to be represented by an attorney who's never been in court other than the moot court he or she had in school? So why do we believe that just because individuals take a string of courses that they're eligible to become professional managers? Now, we all know about those unprofessional managers, and the goal for you is to change that into professional management whereby you know what you're doing and you are effective in managing people and operations. Graduate students, a capstone course for graduate students is one of reflection and analysis. They're reflecting upon all of the courses they've taken and putting it into a whole, or a gestalt, if you will. And the other part of the course is they're learning the tools of analysis. On the contrary, or similar but different, is the undergraduate practice in a capstone course where students are learning the process of diagnosis and intervention in the field of management. Now, for those who know of anybody who thinks that they already have all of the knowledge it takes to be an effective manager, let's assume I'm interviewing one of them for my operation. And I'll ask just a few questions, and the expectation would be that you can answer these questions off the top of your head. For instance, I might ask, what would you do to add value to our operation? The expectation for that question is that you have an understanding of systems, people, and processes. And an individual who is experienced will be able to cite those in a very concise manner. Another question might be, how would you help us to grow our operation? And the expectation there would be that the individual is intimately familiar with the steps involved in strategic growth. Or another question might be, what would you do to turn around an operation that is underperforming? What would you do in the first 30 days, the next 60 days, the next 90 days? How would you develop a plan? How would you implement your plan? And when would you provide me with the results? These are the types of questions that managers, or I as a manager, expected of individuals who are seeking to join my team. That is what you'll gain through your courses, both undergraduate and graduate. The undergraduate individuals have been prepared to assume what we call middle management positions: department head, manager, an individual who is not at the senior management level, but is not at the supervisory level. And for graduate students, you're preparing to become senior level managers or executive consultants. So the thing to remember is to, is that when you see a term or a definition, the course isn't exactly retrenching that term or definition. It's taking that term or definition and it's putting you into a practice. And this is why, in an online environment, this is why interaction is so important, because when you speak experientially, whether it be your experiences or the experience of somebody else or someone you know, some relative, when you speak from your experiences and share those with other people, and other people share those experiences with you, in your brain, you may not believe this, in your brain, your mind will think that you've already had that specific experience. Then when you find yourself in the field, that experience in a similar situation will be triggered, and you'll have a better idea of how to do things. There really are only 3 ways to learn management. You can learn it by trial and error, which is the hardest way to do it. You can learn it through modeling, by finding a manager and emulating his or her activities. And the best way is through mentoring. I was very lucky in my career that I always attracted individuals who were very good mentors to me. But I still learned the practice of management from trial and error, because it's not exactly a black and white science. It's a gray science. And what will work in one condition may not work in another condition. Individuals who graduate from our program, whether it be at the undergraduate or graduate level, have been trained to possess the positions that are comparable to their degrees. And it's only through experience that they will be able to get those positions. If an individual finds him or herself still working in a line position after graduation, that's a shame, because the goal of getting this education is for you to go out and get a position that is in a supervisory or managerial capacity. So I urge the undergraduate students and the graduate students to take a look at the first part of their courses. The undergraduate students should read Chapter 1, read my lecture notes on Chapter 1. Chapter 1 of any textbook is just an overview of the entire book. There's a joke out there that you'd never take a course with a professor who wrote the book. Well, I wrote this book, so maybe you want to think again, or maybe not. This book is purely written from my experiences in more than 25 years as a manager. As for the graduate students, we are taking a practitioner approach. You have been trained in some practice and a lot of research. We are going to blend those together so that you will be able to use that research in a practical setting. And so you're reflecting upon your entire program and you're applying it to your newfound skills in analysis. So again, for the graduate students, paramount is my lecture notes. They are practical guides to what you're going to have to do to succeed in the course. So good luck to all of you from this point forward. I will speak to each group separately. Undergraduate students, $42.95, graduate students, $62.96, and we will discuss more specifically what you're going to engage in and what we are going to engage in. And I'll be glad to share my experiences with you in the process. So see you soon. Thanks.